everybody, Stephanie here with the Machine Gun Nest with our newest legal update. It's been about 3 months since Biden's nominee for the ATF director position, David Chipman, had his Senate hearing. During these past few months, there have been many developments on the situation, so let's back up and start from June. June 24th, Senate panel advances Chipman to ATF director vote on the Senate floor. In a contentious party line vote, the Senate panel advanced David Chipman to the Senate for a full confirmation vote, but not without commenting on his divisive nature. Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee argued that Chipman had an agenda, saying that his position would effectively ban all semi-automatic rifles in the United States.
Based on what we've all heard from Mr. Chipman in his testimony, based on what we've read, statements that he has made, he is showing himself incapable of meeting that mission and doing so in a nonpartisan and even-handed way. Mr. Chipman made clear in his testimony last month that he wants to ban the future manufacturing and sale of, and I'm quoting him, assault weapons. But he has demonstrated that he has an alarming misunderstanding of what an assault weapon actually is. I asked him if he referred to common semi-automatic rifles as assault weapons, and he affirmed, yes, he did. His definition, as Senator Cotton put it so aptly, would effectively ban all sporting rifles in the United States. But we know Mr. Chipman is no fool. Mr. Chipman has an agenda.
Senate Democrats, of course, defended against the assertions, with Senator Richard Blumenthal bizarrely saying he, Chipman, is above all else an enforcer.
And that's why I'm going to vote for David Chipman. He is above everything else an enforcer. And if my colleagues across the aisle are really serious about stopping the wave of gun violence that we see in our streets, they will vote for David Chipman.
So July 20th, the corporate media covers for Chipman with headlines. Throughout July, the headlines were peppered with articles with titles like, "David Chipman is the right choice for ATF." The subtitle, "Gun zealots who oppose him have long worked to undermine the agency," is pretty telling. Our guess is that the corporate media and Biden administration is aware of the calls to moderate senators and is using the media to spin the narrative that everyone calling is some kind of wacky gun nut. This is not the case as we know, but during July, the corporate media began to publish articles like this one. July 26, Washington Post. David Chipman's nomination faces an uphill battle in the Senate. Nearly a month after Chipman was passed to the Senate for a full vote, reports started to come out about the struggle that moderate Democrats were having voting for Chipman. Because of the outraged gun owners making their voices heard from calling their senators, a few moderate Democrats, specifically John Tester of Montana, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Kristen Sinema of Arizona, Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, and Angus King of Maine, who's independent but caucuses with Democrats. Both Republican swing votes, those being Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine, have acknowledged how David Chipman is an unusually controversial nominee. Then it was released that Majority Whip and Chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin, said that the vote count to confirm Mr. Chipman is not where we want it yet. This is a huge admission from a major Democrat that the process of getting David Chipman into office is not going exactly how they expected. And it's a major win for us gun owners, but the work doesn't stop here. We need to continue to call our senators and make sure that they know we will not support anyone who decides to vote for someone like David Chipman. So let's fast forward to August. August 5th. CNN, Biden's ATF pick faces grim confirmation prospects as key Democrats withhold support. President Joe Biden's pick of David Chipman to serve as the head of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is nearing collapse, with members of the Senate Democratic caucus withholding support and chamber unlikely to hold a vote to advance the nomination before the August recess. Publicly, the White House and Senate Democratic leaders are not giving up on the nomination, but privately, the assessment is far grimmer. At best, it appears Chipman's nomination may be forced to be punted past the August recess, which makes the prospects for his confirmation even less likely. Quote, never over until it's over, but it certainly looks uphill, end quote. A senior administration official told CNN. You know, if the corporate media is saying that things are grim for Chipman, something is working. It means that the story has gotten so big, CNN itself feels like if they ignored it, they'd lose what little credibility they have left. Now, more recently, August 25th from NPR. ATF hasn't had a confirmed leader in years. Now Biden's nominee is languishing. NPR wrote that David Chipman's nomination is languishing. Honestly, they're right. It's been 3 months since his initial confirmation hearing, and he's lacking support from a ton of Democrats. This means that now, more than ever, we have to continue calling our senators and making sure that they know we will not support them unless they vote no on Chipman. August 26th, Politico published an article titled, Activists Urge Biden to Bypass Congress and Create Office on Gun Violence. The article starts by establishing that David Chipman is currently lacking any viable path to confirmation. In a letter sent to Biden, activists are complaining that his actions on guns fall significantly short of promises made during his run for presidency. The article goes on to say Chipman's nomination is in peril after Senator Angus King of Maine signaled to the Biden administration that he is not supportive of Chipman. This is an amazing development hidden right here in this article about activists complaining to Biden. If the report is true and Senator King is going to vote no on Chipman, he doesn't really have a viable path to confirmation. Let's get into some speculation on what we might think will happen. So if the Biden administration fears that Chipman may not be nominated, he still may work his way into the government. We saw this earlier this year when Neera Tanden withdrew her nomination to be director of the White House Office of Management and Budget, a cabinet position. She withdrew her nomination after bipartisan opposition because of social media posts attacking Republican lawmakers. Even after her nomination was withdrawn, Biden gave her a position as a senior advisor in the White House. David Chipman may not have a social media post coming back to haunt him, but he does have his agenda. As said earlier, David Chipman's nomination is the same as if Trump had nominated Wayne LaPierre, the head of the NRA, to lead the ATF. So it's inspired a decent amount of bipartisan opposition. It's not over yet, but if Chipman's nomination were to be withdrawn, it's likely that Biden would create a position for him or have Chipman as a senior advisor. We'll keep you updated as the situation develops.